Are Tar Noon and Chuck Morgan paid agents within the conscious community? James West aka Tar Noon Nubu Nupu, leader of the Nunibus, has over the years routinely lied and concocted allegation after allegation against the followers of Dr. York for his purpose to bringing down the Nuwaupian movement. What follows is a recording in which James West aka Tar Noon Nubu Nupu informs lies against the Nuwaupian organization to a law enforcement, New Jersey police detectives in 2017. Using the false pretense of being a concerned member of the public, Tar Noon pretends to law enforcement that is worried about the welfare of the young child, Emery Daniels, who was allegedly physically abused by his mother's partner or stepfather, Prince York, the son of Nuwaupian leader Dr. Malachi Z. York.
This is he.
Yes, how you doing, sir? I know you probably got a couple of calls already about the little boy Amari Daniels, or Goldu, that was a victim of child abuse. And
I got one call from a woman who said she was a friend of the family.
Right.
Because she was a friend, I couldn't release any information.
Right. And I'm a person. Well, basically, I'll consider myself a homegrown advocacy of the situation. I used to, because the child is the son of a female that's part of a cult I used to be in from 95 to 2010, and I got out. And so
what cult is that?
It's called Nuwaupians. That's what they're called.
How do you spell that?
Nuwaupians, and it was started by Dr. Malachi Z. York, also known as Dwight York.
Okay.
And he was born in Boston, but he was a career criminal from the late 60s all the way. He started in Brooklyn, and then they moved down to Georgia after they left upstate New York, and like in the mid 90s, and he went down there in Edenton and had the pyramids, and they ended up finding out that he was abusing those children, and they arrested him, Sheriff Silsner, about like May 8th, 2002. And
right, anything was N-E-W-A-P-I?
Yeah, no, it's Nuwaupian. Nuwaupian.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, with an S. And also, matter of fact, use the same word, right? Just write it again, and put .com on it. Matter of fact, put Nuwaupianism. I'm sorry, after the N, put ISM.com. And this is it's another friend of mine named Chuck Morgan, who also is a ex-member, who that website is dedicated to all of the documents, the jail records from the past, what happened in the court case, the information that they're teaching. And the reason why I'm contacting to you is just to get some type of confirmation that something is going on as far as the case, because they have the core teachings is they're doing something that's called the Golden Child, where they actually are grooming children that have mental problems like ADHD and things of that nature, and they're doing rituals with these children. Okay.
All right, but here's my you're not related to this child, though?
No, I'm somebody who used to be a part of the cult, and what I do is I have a YouTube dedicated to putting out the information to the public about what they're doing. So I understand the legal part of what you're saying. I just wanted to know if somebody is on the case, if somebody's looking.
Can you tell me the names of everyone again? I know you said Amari.
Right.
What's the mom's name?
Shanice Daniels.
How old is Amari?
Amari should be about 5 years old. The sister went on Facebook a couple of days ago and just blurted out all this stuff that Quincy Richardson, which is the actual son of the pedophile that's in jail, I was telling you about, Dwight York, she just came out on Facebook and just blurted out all of this stuff, and we was over there taking this information and communicating with her, and then she was receiving threats, and so I think she just like took a page down. But I have a list of family members and also live videos where they're telling you about the abuse that they took under the father and how he had them living in barns and stuff like that while he was living up the land, up the hill in $1 million mansion. So when you look into this case with Amari being abused by the son, it's the same scenario. So that's what we're trying to do, is spread awareness and help the authorities expedite this situation. That this is not a random somebody just beating a child for whatever reason. It's a ritual abuse thing is what I'm trying to explain. So
okay,
all right. So
all right.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That is very helpful. And now that I did a search and I actually found out it's the last names are different.
Okay.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put you in touch with the detective on the case.
Okay.
All right. Is this the best number for?
Yes, this is my cell number.
All right, hang on 1 second. And where are you located?
I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
All right. Do you have any first-hand knowledge of Amari being abused? Or you can just give like sort of background information about Shanice Ford?
Right, just background information. Anything that the detective need, I can forward him video footage that we've been doing, because we're covering this very big now. We have a couple of groups on YouTube where we do Google Hangouts where we actually meet on a panel and we discuss how to expose this group. It's not all of them, it's because the teachings vary, but I deal with the core teaching. And because of when you look up Dwight York and look at what he was arrested for outside of money structuring and all of that, his whole thing was around child abuse, and he started teaching this golden child thing, which he just drafted from various places, and he has certain people in his group in the hierarchy funneling this type of information. And so since his son and a lot of them who are mentally programmed to believe that he's some type of a god incarnate, that's why they're doing what they're doing. So that's why I'm just stressing this to you and to the detective. This is not just this person is just an angry man and he just beating his child. It's for a purpose. They believe if they put the child under serious stress, the child will become special. Okay, so that's why I just want to stress that as much as I can.
Yeah, I'm glad you're calling. And now the woman who called me this morning, she said she was a nurse. Right,
I know her. Yes, Khadijah. Yes, I know her. We speak.
Who is she now?
She's also someone who's an advocate as far as well, because we all part of the same group, and so we have constant communication. It's a lot of us, and we definitely want to help and assist y'all as much as we can. This cult is very serious. It's a serious situation here.
Okay. All right. Well, thanks for calling. And
you know how long it'll be before I may hear from someone?
I'm not sure. The name of the detective who's assigned this case is. I gotta figure out if he's in or not. Not sure if he's in now, or if he'll be coming later this afternoon.
Okay. Because by the time I got this information, I called. It was on the weekend, so I had to wait till Monday. That's what we're doing. We're following this real close, because a lot of times, even though the father was instructed not to have any contact with his criminal organization because it fell under the RICO and the money instruction, he has a lawyer that still is funneling his conversations out to his followers, and that's online as well. So it's a lot of rules he's breaking on top of that. But we just, again, I don't know if anybody want to go that further and contact the bar association and all that stuff, because I'm not really into that. I'm just more concerned about the mental state of these children and the teachings, because I keep up with the teachings. That's how we know what we're looking for.
Not in until 4 o'clock, but I'm going to send him an email now.
Okay.
and I'm going to ask him to give you a phone call today.
All right, thank you so much. I appreciate
it. All right, well,
it.
thank you. Anything we can do to help keep children safe or maybe get them out of harm's way is very much appreciative, and obviously it sounds like you know what you're talking about.
Yes, sir, I really am. I really do, and I want to make sure the people that we talk to understands everything going as much as we can. And we, like I said, we respect the case and the thing. We just want to make sure that something is being done, and that Quincy Richardson right along, and if the mother is just guilty,
As you can clearly hear from the recording, James West aka Tarnoon Nubu Nupu was more than delighted to divulge false information about the Nuwaupian movement, which was totally unrelated to any so-called abuse allegation against Prince York. Tarnoon was then able to manipulate this in his favor to cause the subsequent arrest and charging of Prince York for child abuse and endangerment of a minor. Following Prince York's arrest, an immediate character assassination campaign was then launched against him by the mainstream media, accusing him of being a child abuser like his father, which was also clandestinely orchestrated or led by Nu Nibu leader Tar No One. Tarnoon Nubu Nupu was again able to help facilitate this by providing further false information to the media about Prince York, which resulted in a number of news articles, such as the one which appeared in the Jersey Journal, by Michelangelo Conti, dated March 22, 2017, entitled, "Man Charged with Child Abuse is Son of Black Supremacist Cult Leader Serving 135 Years." Quote, Jersey City. A Jersey City man accused of burning and beating a 5-year-old boy is the son of a black supremacist cult leader currently serving 135 years in prison for child molestation, racketeering, and other offenses. Ramesses Richardson, 19, was arrested on March 10 and charged with beating the son of his girlfriend with a belt and leaving whip marks, as well as burning the boy's hands with hot water and locking him in a bathroom overnight multiple times. A number of sources have identified Richardson as the son of Dwight D. York, 71, the founder of the United Nuwaupian Nation of Moors. York, who is serving his sentence at the Supermax prison in Florence, Colorado, went by several names including Dr. Malachi Z. York, while leading the Nuwaupian movement, which has its roots in Brooklyn. Source, Michelangelo Conti, Jersey Journal, March, 2017. Tarnoon Nubu Nupu discussion with the police detective, mostly focused on providing law enforcement with the most preposterous and slanderous accusations of child abuse rituals and grooming leveled against the entire Nuwaupian movement, solely for the purpose of bringing the group under further investigation by the law enforcement authorities to suit his own wicked, twisted and hate-filled agenda of seeing the Nuwaupians organization completely destroyed. Notice how during the conversation with the police detective, James West aka Tarnoon Nubu Nupu also makes reference to his friend Chuck Morgan's website as being a place where law enforcement can do further background research about the Nuwaupians, which is confirmation that both he and fellow former ex-Nuwaupian Chuck Morgan are indeed in cahoots and supplying information to law enforcement and mainstream media agencies about the Nuwaupians, as well as possibly other black organizations, verifying the lengths some of Dr. York's enemies are willing to go to satisfy their own personal hate-filled agendas. Notice also, that when questioned by the detective whether he knew the previous caller, he slightly hesitated before confirming that they were both, quote, working together and that they both, quote, have constant communication. There's a lot of us. This was because this previous caller, who claimed to be a nurse, also posing as a concerned member of the public, was in fact also part of his own Nunibu group, entirely orchestrated by Tarnoon to also raise the issue with law enforcement for the purpose of bringing the Nuwaupians under further investigation from the authorities. This child abuse allegation against Prince York were all part of Chuck Morgan and James West aka Tarnoon Nubu Nupu's well-planned and coordinated agenda to undermine, discredit and destroy Dr. Malachi Z. York's legacy. This incident provides us with first-hand insight into some of the underhanded tactics and strategies employed by these black devil snitches and informers with the black conscious community, like Chuck Morgan and Tarnoon Nubu Nupu, who have infiltrated the black conscious community and hate Dr. Malachi Z. York and his movement. This is also a good example of some of these exact same tactics which may have been employed by York's enemies, which brought about his arrest and conviction on concocted child sexual abuse allegations and the subsequent seizure, removal and destruction of the Nuwaupian property back in 2005. As previously outlined, Tarnoon Nubu Nupu is determined to completely destroy and discredit the Nuwaupians along with anyone associated with the movement, in order to provide legitimacy for himself and his own fledgling movement, for the purpose of gaining notoriety and making money. In truth, the Nuwaupians are a bunch of phonies, charlatans, con artists and black devils who only pretended to adopt no one science as a way to enrich themselves so they can sell fake Afrocentric books, socks and t-shirts, under the pretext of promoting African liberation, when in reality they are just liars and police informants in disguise, who have infiltrated the black conscious community.
For further information about Chuck Morgan, Tar Noon and the Noon Boos, please refer to the book, Lightning from the East, The Rise and Rise of Dr. Malachi Z. York or Adifa Taharka Nicole L. and the Universal Yoruba Nation Debates the Nunibus, now available from Amazon.com.
All right, true mental cosmic peace in war times, as that's one of my favorite sayings because I know we're in war times for a nice little bit of time on different fronts. I just watched this dumb video by Taharka, the Yoruba, whatever, and y'all really trying to build a case about, out of all things, Prince York, who went to jail for beating his wife's son, and y'all put that in a book. That's dumb. Snitching. This is ridiculous. Anybody that's supposed to be dealing with any kind of right knowledge knows that if children and women are being abused, why would you not want to report that? It ain't like black people don't have their own police and all that stuff like that. Number one. Number two, I didn't have nothing to do with that. This is an old situation, but I'm gonna bring forth the facts because that's what I'm in here for. To spread the facts, push out Nuwaupians and Noon, put the books out there, put out my findings and research with it, and let people take their own choice with that. And this is the reason why it's nothing to, number one, it's nothing to debate, because Afro Unu already got props by York and his own cult that gave Afro Unu credit for bringing the Wapu, so that kills everything else. Anybody wants to debate me outside of that, Garu, for what? It's nothing to debate. I don't need to debate you. The only reason I did everything I did from 2014 to now was to set the record straight about Nuwaupians and Noon and Nupu and Nuwaubu and all that stuff. I never got in this for you. You're nobody to me. And you keep telling these lies. I came at you about what? You the switch hitter. I start going against the information York was putting out since 2010. You came along, I got all of the receipts to expose Charles A. Gee as a York hater. See, he keep trying to make y'all think that I switched up on York because I was jealous. No, I switched up because I seen that there was lies and cracks in things that he was putting out. That's what anybody with intelligence would do. Unlike him, he's seen the truth, flip-flop onto the side of Noon and to Noon science, but so in his mind, he keep making it think that I created it. So when he was going against York, which we was going against the facts, not York per se, but because York wrapped itself within the information, you can't talk about the knowledge and separate York because York claimed he was and brought all that. So we don't have to defend Afro Unu outside of the books because Afro Unu did not put himself and embed himself into the books as if he was the end all, beginning all, end all. That's not the case. We only dealing with the information. Y'all got a problem because York claimed to be the source and the core of everything. Al Kut, remember Al Kut, the axis. He claimed to be all of that. So when we hit the information, he get hit too. That's the side you on. But to stay on point, Charles, he the one that gets upset because he keep thinking that being a part of Noon, it's got something to do with me as if I created some type. No, it ain't got nothing to do with that. His mind is confused. It's nothing. We did all the debate. We debated when he was on the right side of correct information, and then when he flip-flopped back to the wrong side, we did all that debating from 2015 all the way up. But the ultimate goal was to give props to the source and the origin. Alpha Uno is the primary one that was raised first. That's the alpha in Noon. There's no other alphas. Anything else gonna be second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, all of that. That's it. Like Nupu is primary. Nupu is alpha. Zupu is beta. All this stuff about people thinking they the king and they the first and all, that's always the murder. Every time I hear somebody claiming that they the first, this is what you done did to yourself. You out. You're done. It's over for you. Everybody that says that, when they start going on that, start throwing these numbers like they the first of some type of primary and they like original and stop giving credit to where they come from or how they got information, you'll never hear that. You always hear me say how the information came to me. And Noon will tell you that Alpha Uno is the first to be mentally resurrected. No one else. No one else. I don't recognize nobody else when it comes to that. Anything done in the name of Nupu and Noon after that, people get their props based upon the things that they help grow. All right? And Noon, create means to grow. It's not from nothing to something. It means to grow. That means something was already there and you grew it. That's it. All this extra stuff about debating, I don't debate what. We all know that Alpha Uno was the physical writer of the Bible interpretations, the 9 bowls, and the introduction to the nature of nature. And Sabians to this day is still stealing. It's easy for me to prove that. Y'all think I'll stop reading y'all books because y'all don't hear me talking about it? No. I stay in the loop. Because I know that because the people that York brought up, the people that York brought up created a sickness in them, and that because we represent the facts of why they can't let us rest. We're not attacking y'all. We only responding to the attacks and the lies. And to this day, Nuwaupians are still creating these lies. Rogue Nuwaupians, not Sabians. I'm making a distinction. I know the difference between those who saying they're Sabians and Nuwaupians. They're following suit. That's what a cult does. But the rest of these dudes, they're not doing anything. All right. So this particular video, I took some notes, and I'm gonna break these things down simple and plain, and I'm gonna let the videos following re-answer what has been done. All right. Number one, this video is made out of order. The video I'm gonna play in front was what Tahawk and them is trying to spin this wild, ridiculous story. This is why they're not credible. And even if I was considering it a debate, they fail every time because they're a lie. See, the truth stands on its own. The facts stand on its own. A lie has to be remixed and keep being brought up over and over and over and over and over and over again. So they don't have any credibility. I don't respect you. That's the reason why it's nothing to debate. I don't respect you. Not because you are a follower of Dr. York. That in itself should make you feel dumb off of just because of the lies, and it's showing that you don't want to know the truth. You want to believe somebody is great. That's on you. But as far as facts and fiction and belief in reality, y'all don't have none of that. And you done convinced yourselves that you're doing something. So I don't respect you. I don't respect Charles. I don't respect you, because you cannot tell a straight fact. You can't just let the facts be there and let the people see it. You have to continuously keep lying. So there's no reason for me to even lower myself to that, because it would be entertaining. You're not pumping no fear this way. I deal with the facts, but you lie too much. There's nothing for me to do. Tahak is a liar. Everybody that came in the group pump faking, it's been liars. I have no respect for Tahaka. This other guy, this mixed mutt, he's not black, so he don't even get anything. He wants to be somebody, and he's disrespecting y'all, riding the backs of black people, whether we right or wrong. Y'all keep letting these mixed mutts in here speak for you. So I have nothing to say. It's nothing else. I'd have told him he ain't black. When you get your hair kinky, then come back and talk. But I don't have to address you. You're not black. I'm gonna keep saying that. So you can get your lapdogs to speak for you. I ain't even gonna say your name because they ain't even your name. Go find a Mexican Spanish name or whatever you keep calling yourself. All right? Number 2, my phone call was not to the precinct to report the abuse that Prince York was doing. I spoke to the department that was already on the case. So I see, the thing is, I got all of the evidence of everything that took place with that. So I don't have to chop and screw videos and then place pictures and funny things to try to make stuff funny, because it's not funny. It's nothing funny. But because we're dealing with some low intellectuals, and because they want to try to use public court versus just the facts, they want to convince you that I'm a snitch. And they so dumb, they don't care what Prince did. How about this? Was it even, do y'all even care that a child was abused? This fake code of the streets, I don't understand that. Because if we talking about right and wrong, whether you in Yoruba, according to Tahaka, there's no good or bad. They have a different perception. So he's not in this conversation. He's an idiot. Already off top, you dumb. Because if you don't believe there's no good or bad, then why are you writing the books with putting our face and pictures in it and talking about we doing wrong? If y'all don't have if Yoruba don't have a concept of good and bad, you shouldn't even be bothered. Dummy. All right? So again, they was already on the case. All right? Number 3, Prince York, aka Ramesses Richardson, was already in custody by the time the little boy Amari abuse was made known. That was already done. It was already known. By the time I called, Prince was already locked up. But I'm gonna let the facts prove these things. This is easy for me. This is nothing. This is totally nothing. This is nothing. Y'all are peons. It's easy to respond to you. And you know when I do it, I overdo it. I overdo it because that's how I like to do it. So it'll be stumped in your mind that this is the reason why y'all keep getting beat. And you go get new people all the time. Every year is a new bunch of idiots, and I just stomp you every time. You get beat to death every time. And y'all keep begging, and then y'all keep letting Charles put this battery in y'all back and throw y'all out there, because he's not going to come out on his own. Because he already knows. Me and him got nothing to talk about until y'all address why Dr. York, Ponder Bob, right, Yananan, gave Afro Unu credit for Nuwaupu. Because when you say that, that means the BIA and the Nine Ball specifically belongs to that writer, Afro Unu, Johnny Eugene Brown. Y'all want to address that. So guess what? I'm not going to address anything that you're saying because you ain't even in the cult. Charles, you're not even following the Sabian. So why you want to talk about somebody and the information of a group you don't even follow? You a rogue Negro. So it's nothing to debate. Nobody in the group is talking about the book. The Sabians was smart enough, they gave up credit and they moving on. If they got a problem, they not saying nothing about it too funny. But y'all rogue clowns who claim Charles claims that York didn't create Wusabat, so he not following that. I don't know why y'all Sabians even listening to this idiot. Go back in his videos and YouTube and look. He'll tell you he don't believe in all this crap. And the Sabians and all that stuff. He don't follow that. But y'all gonna listen to this idiot? And he don't want to get y'all master teacher. I got all the proof. Tahaka did the same thing. I showed y'all. He came to our group and stated in no uncertain terms that he was not a follower of Dr. York. Who writes books on somebody that you don't follow them outside of just paralleling his so-called career? But Tahaka goes deeper than that, but he lies. So this is what I'm saying. We can't deal with anything until y'all address y'all mental delusions. Until you look at my videos and look at your videos, look what you say and look what I say. You trying to turn this to a personal thing. I don't care about that. Because the fact of the matter is Afro Unu wrote the information and York created a cult off of that man writings and still making money off that man writings, feeding y'all, and y'all don't even give a darn about him and took all credit for his stuff. Then later on want to throw his picture up in y'all bookstore, got all evidence. And then get a man a shout out in the book, but then you spell his name wrong. Then you put Dr. Ben picture, and everybody know who Dr. Ben is. You could have put Afro Unu picture in the book what Dr. Ben picture was in the harvest. Disrespect. All right. Damn right I call to give extra information about the pedophile, golden child, hormone sexual cult rituals the Nuwaupians and Sabians were engaging in, aka the children sex abuse, by telling their followers a child must be in between 4 homosexuals, male and female, to open up a portal for gay aliens to come through to save them. This is all facts. This is nothing I'm making up. But again, Charles, evidently you ain't reading all that material, and so you keep trying to call me gay. Your teacher is one who teaches this stuff. This is what y'all cult members are doing. We got all the evidence. So I don't understand, how can y'all call somebody gay when y'all core teachings is about that? You never seen me say nothing about anything gay dealing with myself or in Noon science. It doesn't exist. It's not there. Noon teaches against it. So the fact that you keep trying to overlay something that I've never said in public or private or even in information show that you're something wrong with you. So therefore I have no respect. It's nothing I'm gonna do where we're gonna sit face to face ever, because you're a liar. And this is why I made videos called Charles a Liar, and it's not because it's for fun and giggles. It's the truth. Something is wrong with you. And therefore, you get no debate. This is all you're gonna get. And you always gotta put your hand up somebody else's butt and send them out there to get beat. So that's you. If you wanna, that's you. Y'all love a pedophile, homosexual, black misleader. That's your personal choice. But don't try to make me gay because you follow somebody that's gay. That makes no sense. Got all the evidence. All right. Tahawk is an angry. Excuse me. Let me go back. Point number 5. These idiots who put out these lies and half-truths are rogue, self-appointed misleaders of Sabians and the conscious community at large. I provided facts ever since 2014 on this topic up to date. That's it. See, y'all got a personal axe to grind instead of looking at yourselves. You want to talk about spirit being possession. Y'all being played against yourselves and going against somebody who has putting out the facts, and y'all can't take it. So therefore you resort to lying. I haven't resorted to lying on one thing. If I say Charles is bald-headed, that's a fact. If I say Tahaka came to the group and tried to play down his real intentions in the group, that's a fact. If I can say that mixed mutt is around here disrespecting black people and trying to make a name for himself and trying to lie about the court case and all this stuff, that's a fact. I'm not saying nothing, but it's all wrapped within the information though. It's not me separating that and just saying things about y'all for nothing. I only respond because y'all saying something to me. Peep the pattern so we can see who's chasing who. See? Charles, you a liar. You know how many videos you keep saying, oh, I'm done with these clowns. I done buried them. I I done zipped them up. I done zipped them. You ain't zipped nothing. But you keep claiming you gonna retire and keep coming back. I've never once said I ain't dealing with this clown no more. I sit here and wait because you a cult member. All you gotta do is look at other cult groups who can't take it that other people woke up and left. That's your problem. And you also a Sagittarius, so you got something wrong with you as far as you have this ego that's out of this world, and it doesn't mean anything. It just make you feel like something, you know. That's on you. I could care less. Tahawk is an angry, book writer who got exposed for lying on a great man, Afro Unu, and they are trying to still continue to fool black people. And York, and they keep overlooking York plagiarizing the nature books up to date. Up to date. They still going. Y'all a modern day cult and don't even recognize it. And y'all got all these people that represent York and they don't really care about them. The lawyers, all the lawyers y'all done had mostly. This mutt who claiming he represent your Al. It's no such thing as Nuwaupian. We made them give the name Nuwaupian up. That's why they jumped the Sabians. So by him saying he the real Nuwaupian and he's mixed, he's saying anybody that's black and African claiming to be Nuwaupian, y'all are fake. You see the disrespect? But y'all don't want to look at that. Y'all so angry at the fact that we exist and we're not going to let y'all go into the night stealing this information. Nature, the laws of nature gonna take care of y'all. We just here to make sure those who looking for the truth and the evidence will get nothing but the evidence. I don't have nothing to say against all these fools outside of the facts. I'm only responding because my name and people in my circle keep coming up and y'all keep putting people's names like y'all right, and y'all not right. Because your source is a liar. Tahawk said it in his own response in the group. People all the way in Africa and UK thought that York was Afro-Unu. But Charles will have y'all believing I'm the one that started that. See? But the nature book's been out since the first one in 73. Right? Then when Afro-Unu retired in 1990, then he put the first book out in 93. So as long as them books been circulating since 93, I didn't get the books in 2008. So all them people was believing York was Afro-Unu and York knew those books was out. And he did not straighten it in the public domain where he was putting his books at. So who's really the guilty party here? York is. That's a fact. Tahawk knows that. He put it in the response, in the group. It's in my video. So Charles, if he really believes I'm the one that started that, that's a sick person. He's really sick. I have nothing else to say dealing with that. All right? That's perfectly the thing. It's never going to change. That's a real sick individual. And who almost 50 years old. And he's still making videos about another man and he has nothing else to do with himself. Cause you can't, if you ain't proved me wrong all this time, it's nothing else. You might as well give it up because evidently your plan is not working. That's why you have to resort to photoshops and telling half truths and sending other people to do your work like you did Ethereum. That's been you always been like that. That shows you a coward. Because you can't beat the facts. I'm not the facts. I'm speaking the facts. But you can't beat the facts. See that's called intelligence. But you don't have none. So I'm gonna end this a little bit and I'm gonna let the facts repeat themselves. I don't have to sit up here and make threats and be arguing and being angry about it and the thing. Because the evidence speaks for itself. 2 minute call of peace and wartime.
could have said I'd never been to jail before, but I was targeted as well. They ran child molestation against my father. They ran child abuse against me. There's no evidence. They don't need evidence. As long as you say child, you don't need evidence. As long as they have control of the child. I was targeted as well. 2 months ago, I could have said I'd never been to jail before, but I was targeted as well. They ran child molestation against my father. They ran child abuse against me. There's no evidence. They don't need evidence. As long as you say child, you don't need evidence. As long as they have control of the child. Because you give a baby a lot.
So there's rumors surfing about one of your wife's sons and being physically abused. You was going in and you was breaking that down. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying, as far as the abuse allegation is simply allegation and slander. For one, my son, my stepson, he doesn't even live with us. He hasn't been living with us for a while now. And besides that point, the allegations are simply lies. The situation with the abuse has no correlation or connection to me, Prince York, at all. It's being thrown my way. That's dealing with his family, his biological mother's family, his biological father's family. That's their family's issue, and I'm not going to get deep and put out their business because I try to keep members of my family and my in-laws, I try to keep that separate from the conscious circuit. But as far as me personally, it has no affiliation with me. And I was saying that the reason for the slander and the reason for all the negativity that's being produced is because of the religious indifference. See, we as Nuwaupians, we practice animism, which is spirituality, consciousness, as some may revere. And and her family is more of a deep Christian faith, Pentecostal affiliates, and things of that nature on both sides, both his father's side and his mother's side. Of course, dealing with the South and the West Coast is strong and deep in Christianity and religions. So they don't really appreciate me introducing their daughter to it. And then when you have a system like the Nuwaupian Nation, where it's not just, okay, we're two hippies in the house playing meditation, but there's an entire nation, there's an entire way of life, a dress, everything, a language, and then you call your daughter, instead of her greeting you saying the hell is low or hello, she says rahubat to her own parents. They find things like that disrespectful. And when I brought information to them about it to try to make them understand exactly what we're about, what we teach, etc., it was all rejected from the start. Numerous of threats were thrown at me for yada 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 because of the anger of what the doctrine does. The doctrine is a very high level doctrine. It's consciousness, it's knowledge of self, and it awakens one's being. So it became, they looked at their daughter instead of looking as their daughter, and she can make whatever decision she chooses, marry who she chooses, and do what she pleases with her life. As a woman far above 18, but you know what I mean, instead of them looking at it like that, they looked at it as disrespectful, attack against their family and their way of life and different things like that. So all of this is really blackmail to get her to leave me, which is not going to happen. Me and my wife, we have a lovely lifestyle, a lovely family. These allegations have absolutely nothing to do with me. It's simply slander. It's going to come today and be gone tomorrow. But Prince York is still going to be standing here, you know, teaching his people and getting necessary souls saved and getting things done for our people. And maybe one day I hope that they do wake up. And I wish the best for my stepson. I don't have all the details on his current situation, so I'm not sure with everything that's going on. His mother usually deals with stuff like that. Me, I don't really deal with a lot of raising of children. I'm mainly on the road and teaching and different things like that. So when I'm in town, I take my son. My relationship with him was actually very well. I would take him out and we would have a good time. He was into boxing and different stuff like that. But as far as affiliation with any abuse, those are all lies and created to be a destruction of my career. If I wasn't Prince York and I wasn't teaching and international and all this other stuff like this wouldn't even exist. But they know exactly who I am, etc. So that's pretty much the situation, Assassin.
It don't sound that bad, but it's
forth. So that's pretty much the situation, assassin.
Alright, it don't sound that bad, but it don't sound that bad, but